Now. How do I share this stuff? You gotta help me out here. I never done this before.
Is it pumping to YouTube right now?
Yeah, it's pumping. It's pumping to YouTube. So help me out here. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm new to this.
Dude, it's on my.
Oh, that's what happens to me. A bunch of amateurs trying to figure this out. So I want to get a link to. I guess
get the link off of YouTube.
Oh,
here.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me just before I officially start.
Oh God,
that's killing me here. All right, let me just share.
Here, I'll put it in. I'll text you the link to it. That's.
Oh no, I've already got it.
Oh, okay. All right.
We are live.
When people watch this later, this is going to be really weird. But that's all right.
You know what? People who watch this later, we love you. Just fast forward like 2 minutes.
Yeah. You're not seeing us at our best right now. Just give
Dude, this is our best. What are you talking about? Like, this is my best.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I'll tweet it out too.
We're tweeting. This is more important. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is all whatever, right? So anyway, it's been a pretty crazy weekend for me because, or for us, I should say. Sorry, I'll keep saying me. Chris is obviously a partner in crime on this. So, welcome.
Well, you don't know what I've been up to. It's fine. Don't worry about it, man.
Whatever, man. But thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to watching this version of the comic binge, or like you're gonna come on live here in a minute. I don't know. Like whatever you want to do, like whatever you're doing. Thank you. It's been awesome. We launched yesterday the new YouTube page, and we have already over 100 like subscribers. And I know for some people who are like YouTube vets are like, that's like nothing. That's true. It probably is. But you know what? I am extremely like just floored that we got that many subscribers already. And this is kind of like basically a thank you to everyone because it's insane. Like I legitimately, when I started and launched this, my goal was to get 50 subscribers by the end of the month. That was like legitimately my goal. I'm like, okay, I'll get to 50 and, as a start from here because I've got stuff going on, which I'll hint at a little bit more later on. But anyway, my goal was 50 subscribers, and sure enough, I basically just did the video, the MCU required reading video, and before I know it, I had like 50 people. I was like already subscribed in a day, and I'm like, whoa, that's really crazy. And then obviously I'm now over 100, which I'm like really like whoa, like it's cool. And like I said, if it stopped there, I'd be like, that's cool. Like, for now, like that's cool. Like I'm so grateful for everyone. And I want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing. If you're watching, if you're, again, for watching later, because it doesn't matter if like one person's watching or 3 people or no one's watching, because this will be on YouTube, and I want people to watch this as a way of me saying thank you. So we got a lot of cool stuff planned for the Comic Binge. Basically, we've got obviously the regular podcast, which Chris and I are going to be doing still on a regular basis, as regular as we can. And then I've got some show ideas, and there'll be videos throughout all over the place, which will be a lot of fun, I think, at some point. But yeah, like this is going to be exciting and awesome, and I can't wait for everyone to check it out. So, Chris, man, right on, man. It's gonna be fun.
No, I mean I'm glad to see that people came out and supported the first video that you put together. And just so people know, when they watch this later, Paul did that. He's the one who took the initiative to have the vision of what to talk about, no pun intended, and to get everything put together. He edited it himself. He solicited input from a couple of people, but by and large, I mean, that's all him. So it was really cool to see you take that step, man. And I think everybody who knows you and loves you, who knows you and loves you personally, and everybody that you've connected with in all of the various endeavors that you've had over the last several years. I mean, it's cool to see this next evolution, and I'm happy to be a part of it with you, and in a small way, but in a way still should be fun. And hopefully I'll be able to contribute some interesting original stuff too. Like for all 15 fans of comics on consoles, this might be a new way to explore that kind of subject matter.
I mean, Chris is one of my closest friends, and obviously anything he wants to do and put on this channel is obviously we started the podcast together, so obviously, but anything he wants to do, he just put it on here. I'm cool with it. So it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, this is exciting. Basically this whole thing is just going to be me, Chris, and hopefully some other people who want to join, basically homies, whatever. Eventually I think I'll have some couple other people show up, but I'm just going to talk comics, and again, just saying kind of little fun little thing we're going to do, just to talk comics and, whatever, just kind of hang out and see if other people want to join us. But Chris, what did you pick up recently? Anything cool?
Oh God. Yeah. So I've got a whole stack of stuff here that I've picked up recently, and I'll talk about a couple things when the time comes, but
all right, next thing. Anyway, we're going to move
on. No, I mean,
holy good God.
I'm not going to go through all of these things, but just so people have an idea of what, this is probably a couple weeks worth of stuff. But cool things that I read out of this stack. I'm way behind, but I finally read Death Metal Secret Origin, and
the Tom Taylor.
No, it's John's. It's John's and Snyder. They co-wrote, or at least they had a byline on it. Scott Snyder.
I'm kidding. God.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. It'd be awesome if Zack Snyder actually co-wrote something with Jeff Johns. I think Twitter would just blow up if that actually happened.
Well, they kind of did yesterday, didn't they? I mean,
I don't follow that crap. I don't follow any of that stuff. I just want to watch the movie, and I want to read the comics and just in peace. I don't want to have to hear about the politics of every little detail.
It's not even politics as much as it is.
But no, like the inner office politics.
Yeah, right.
That's what I mean. The inner office politics. Yeah,
so. No, but I mean, the thing that's cool about this Secret Origin, I mean, I've been reading about Superboy Prime now since 2005, really.
Yeah.
And this is a really interesting way to kind of end his story. I mean, I don't know.
Didn't his story end in Infinite Crisis last time?
Well, yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing is that does anything ever really end in comics? Probably.
Do
we want anything to ever really end in comics? Probably not. But in terms of the stories that Johns has told with Superboy Prime, he started in Infinite Crisis, and then he kind of dovetailed into Green Lantern, and then that turned into its own thing. He became part of the Sinestro Corps. He had armor that was kind of modeled after the Anti-Monitor, throwing back to his time in Infinite Crisis. And then he just became this really big A-level threat to the DCU for a long time, and we haven't really seen that much of him. So this was kind of a nice way to maybe give him a send-off if they didn't want to use him very much anymore. I was really satisfied with it as someone who's read those stories for a long time. So
they should give him a new moniker or something like that. Let's call him Prime Boy or something. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, because the whole thing is that Death Metal opened up the infinite multiverse again, right? So it ties that into. What are you scratching your head for? You're like, oh, I love Crisis. Oh my God.
The first Crisis is amazing. That's legitimately artistically incredible. George Perez. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but you never read Infinite Crisis. We're gonna have to do that at some point.
Well, yeah, at some point. Oh, look at it. We got our boy Adam here. Adam, what's going on, man? What's going on?
Drinking and thinking.
Drinking and thinking. I love it. So Chris and Adam have never met before. Chris is Adam. Adam, this is Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey. Going okay.
Going okay? Good. All right. Right. Adam is one of the Spidey Dude podcast network people I'm with, and he's a rad dude.
Awesome,
and
thank you.
Yeah, and so we've been having a ton of fun with him with those guys. So we're just kind of talking loosely about this stuff we're picking up. And I know I'm not sure what you don't pick up much these days, right? Right? You're not really buying a lot of stuff, and nothing's really hitting the meter basically for you,
Not
Alan?
really. I did pick up Radiant Black. I haven't read it yet, but I'm excited to read it.
Is Radiant Black the Silver Surfer book?
No, it's the
What am I
it's
not?
Image. Kyle
Yeah. Kyle
Higgins.
Higgins.
Kyle
What am I
Higgins.
thinking? Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that book actually, the first one.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about it.
Oh yeah. So it was interesting. That was an interesting book. Chris, have you read that at all? No.
No, I can't say I have. I've
It's-
hered good things about it. I generally like
it's a
Kyle
solid
Higgins.
take. It almost feels like it's going to be a superhero mashup with like Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's what I got from it, and I'm into that kind of. I think it'll be kind of cool to do that kind of a thing.
You mean the literal Power Rangers? Because Higgins has written Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I think
it's meant to be like that. I think
it's kind of like it's a sort of like a Sentai thing. Like it's
Sentai. What the hell is that?
That's Power Rangers.
The original.
Okay, gotcha. See, I'm old, you assholes. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, Adam, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, and I'm 33. So I was.
See, you guys are all in that wheelhouse. Yeah, you guys are all in the Power Rangers wheelhouse.
It's something I've only learned about like probably in the past few years, I guess. I don't know. It's
well, like, so do you read the Power Rangers comics?
No.
Is that something you actually are interested in?
I'm kind of interested in some of it. I know,
it's good. I've heard a lot. It's good.
Well, it's just like those classic things that people do with superheroes, right? You had an audience of kids, and now that audience has grown up, and they still love that thing, right? So Higgins is really good at. I mean, I think he's roughly in his 30s as well, so he probably grew up with those shows too. And I remember, didn't they do like a live action trailer for one of the Power Rangers comics events that he did with some of the actors? And that's a really cool idea.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that, but if they did that, that's pretty cool.
Something about I can't remember the exact title, and I know Power Rangers fans are going to crucify me if they see this, but it's about something about the collapse of the morphing grid, which is the thing that allows them to transform.
Is it their Dark Knight Returns story?
It looked like it was kind of going in a Kingdom Come-ish direction, actually.
Oh god, this is getting way too deep for me.
But no,
someone
Power
save
Rangers
me.
lore.
Yeah, oh boy, Power Rangers lore.
I mean,
and the thing is, the original Japanese shows aren't interconnected at all.
No.
Oh god.
No, but I mean, as a kid, I was knee deep in the.
I need to get. I should probably, if we're gonna have a Power Rangers talk, I need to like text Tim Gerasi right now. He's a huge Power Rangers fan, so
it's really interesting to watch it because for a long time the original show was on Netflix, and that was the one that I watched. And just on a whim, I watched some of the Green Ranger episodes like a few years ago.
I did. I'm older than all you guys, and I can tell you legitimately like those episodes when I was a kid.
I mean, as a kid, especially watching Fox Kids, right, where they had Batman the animated series and Spider-Man the animated series and the X-Men show.
Yeah,
it was sort of like Saved by the Bell meets superheroes. And
dude,
that's what was cool.
I guess so.
I was just watching a documentary about Dana Carvey on Hulu, the Dana Carvey show, and it just came to me. Why hasn't some idiot like gone out there and made a Fox Kids documentary, like talking about all that crap? Because there's got to be tons of behind the scenes drama around that time.
John Semper might know some of that stuff.
Exactly. Why hasn't that guy? Why didn't they interview that guy? Like seriously. I mean, I know Spider-Man is. I don't know. Whatever.
We're on the cusp though of '90s nostalgia. Really,
even 2000s nostalgia.
Right, but
the fashion lately.
Remember, like 10 years ago, how they would always make stuff out of things that kids enjoyed primarily in the '80s. Yes, and you started to see some of that in terms of 90s stuff, but it hasn't really hit that kind of a fever pitch. And I think it's about to, if I were to guess. We'll see. It's just armchair analysis from me. But
sure,
we'll see what happens. But no, that's cool. I mean, I've always been kind of interested in the more recent comic book Power Rangers stories, but I've never actually taken the plunge myself.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of other stuff picked up recently, I've got all of these now. There's 5 of them. White Knight Presents Harley Quinn. I've read all the other stories from them, and they're really solid. I've got a lot of catching up to do with Hickman's X-Men. Adam, have you read any of the X-Men stuff, or do you pretty much just check into Spider-Man?
I'm pretty much just Spider-Man, but I know Neil, who does stuff on Spidey Dude and other places, he's into that right now. And we lost Paul.
Oh, we lost
Froze.
Paul. Yeah,
we lost him.
I'll text him. Well, one of the things that Paul told me that I thought was kind of interesting about Spidey Dude is that you guys really don't like Slott. Is that true?
I mean, I honestly, I'm just kind of me personally. I want to move on. I want to like the thing is like I wasn't around when Slott kind of took over. I kind of just read Superior Spider-Man.
Okay,
but
was that your entry point? Was that your entry point, basically?
Well, it was my entry point to Slott. Yeah.
Okay, to Slott. Okay, but not to Spider-Man, but obviously. No. But I mean, yeah, but reading Spider-Man comics on a regular basis. Okay, gotcha.
Well, actually, yeah, really disorienting.
I came back. I kind of came back like when Superior started, just because I don't know. I kind of like I started going to I was at conventions and I was trying to like get back into stuff, and I don't know. Like all of a sudden, I'm just like following up on Spider-Man, and what's happening right now is Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, that was kind of, and I hadn't read anything Slott previously. I'd been out of comics for a while, and that was kind of like how I came back, and I don't know, it was I didn't quite like it just because I felt it was sort of
Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, I thought it was mean-spirited, I guess, to the character.
Yeah, it's Otto. I mean, what do you expect, right?
I know. But it was just like, I don't know, and there was like some disingenuousness with the, editorials like, oh, Otto's going to be Spider-Man for the next however many years. Yeah, 20 years, 30 years.
You never take that for face value.
No, I know. No, I know. I knew it was BS, but it was just like, I don't know. This is just kind of...
You felt like it was a willful swerve, maybe? Like, why are you stringing us along by saying that?
You know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because we know better. Well, some people know better, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's funny.
Some people, I think, believed it, and that's why I was like, don't lead people on like this. Like,
it's funny you experienced that with Slott, because I experienced that with Spencer, but it was for Captain America.
The thing is, I didn't believe that was going to last at all. Like,
and you know what? I should have known that it would have a shorter half-life. But the thing that I guess I found the thing that pissed me off was that he said in interviews right around the time his first issue of Captain America came out, or maybe it was his second one, that this is a permanent change.
Well, of course they're gonna hype it up, dude.
That was what they was Superior Spider-Man.
Exactly,
and the exact same thing. And then people were like burning the Captain America issue.
Oh my
god! Because of the fact that like, it's Captain America is a quote unquote Nazi now. So it's like,
I mean, comic book Hydra isn't really as Nazi-ish. The overt Red Skull stuff is, but I mean, either way, it's funny that you mentioned.
Don't go down that rabbit hole, please.
Sure, yeah.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned that you had that experience with Slott, because it's weird now that Spencer is in the Spider-Man driver's seat. Yeah. It just brought to my mind, I had a similar experience.
So let me we actually have more than like one person here now, so I want to say thank you. If you haven't seen the beginning of the awkwardness between me and Chris when I started the broadcast, thank you for these 6 people who are watching. I am grateful for all of you. You have no idea. And if you're watching this later on for whatever reason, I'm grateful for you as well. Everyone I'm grateful for subscribing to the channel. Like I said, this is humble beginnings, and I'm blown away. What did I say, Adam?
Is it? Did you get more than 100 now?
Yeah, I do, and I didn't. I honestly, I was just saying earlier, I expected to have 50, or that was my goal to have 50 at the end of the month, and I got 100 in the first weekend. It's nuts.
First
And,
day. It's been a day. You got
dude,
100.
yeah, it's been awesome. So I just want to say thank you to all you guys who are watching live or watching later or watching a year from now. If you whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like I just appreciate anyone who takes time out of their day to support anything that I do for any reason. So thank you so much. So I wanted to just basically say a thank you and also just talk comics with some homies. And I have some crap that I bought, and I'm just gonna share it. And just first gonna just shoot the crap about it, and just hang out. So
Unfortunately, I went to the shop today. I didn't buy anything. Maybe next week.
dude, I'm telling you, man, you needed to either, if you don't buy at the shop, go on either in stock trades or cheap graphic novels.
I do. No, I do. Well, I
Oh, you
have
do?
a.
Okay.
I have a. Well, the thing is, I've used in stock trades once. I have an order pending. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I'm gonna do it soon.
What is it?
I've got. It's like I don't want to jinx it because then maybe it'll be out of stock. But I've got some Doom Patrol stuff. I've got Spider-Girl stuff. I've got the new Batman Gotham Knights trade that came out.
I've heard that's great, by the way. I've heard that's great. David Lapham, right? Is that him?
For what?
For Gotham Knights? Is that? Or
No,
is
it's Devin Grayson.
Oh, I'm thinking
the only female Batman writer, more or less, who had an ongoing, I think.
Oh crap! Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have anything to add about Devin Grayson?
I didn't really read the Gotham Knights stuff as much as I read her Nightwing stuff, which I also enjoyed.
I've heard. The thing is, I wanted to. They had a trade of her Nightwing run that came out in the past year, but I think that's out of print now because I think printing runs are scarce now because of everything going on.
But I wonder if trades are if the scarce printing is actually a good thing almost, because you see how much demand is for something, and so there's a little bit more.
I hope they reprint it.
Well, no, I think they reprint it, but they want to see like build it up a little bit first,
right.
And then instead of having like warehouses full of Flash Volume 3, whatever, like for from whoever, So I mean, that's what they're worried about, right? So
I remember buying issues of her Nightwing and just being like, "Ooh, it's an issue of Nightwing and it says Grayson on the cover. I like that."
God, you're a nerd. God, you're a nerd.
I'm talking about comic books.
Well, but see, hold on a second. For the record, like I don't like saying nerd. Like it's just like I feel like it's just a very like we're just a nerds. It's a label. Like you don't need a label. You can like. I don't
like labels really.
Exactly. See, Adam and I have music background, so we have like the underground music idea where it's like it's labels are stupid. Like they're just stupid. Like
because I'm tired of all these genre music labels. They get so like
convoluted, right?
Yeah.
Neo, synth pop, dream, emo.
Thank you for clarifying after you gave me a label. That's really
I'm just saying. Like it's just I just don't like. I mean, whatever. For all intents and purposes, for like a mainstream audience or mainstream people, it's I like geek things. It's I don't know. Right. It's like I like comic books. Like that's a label. Right. That's a label that's accurate. Like it's not like narrow and saying like it's. I think nerd has a negative connotation, and that's why I don't like it either. It's like what is a nerd? It's someone who loves something a lot and then knows a lot about it. Yeah, that's
a miserable pile of secrets.
Well, but also too, like when I was in high school, for instance, there weren't a lot of other comic book fans in the high school I went to. It was a cow town of 10,000 people. There weren't a lot of comic book fans to be found.
There's a lot of people in general in Linden. Let's be real.
True, but so anytime that was something that got thrown in my direction, I always just took ownership of it.
Well, I mean, because here's the thing: people will use anything against you, whether it's a label. That's the thing. People who want it out for you. That's the thing I learned as a kid, right? I mean, because I liked a lot of the same things they did. So they'd find something that they didn't like, and they'd try to use it as a negative against me just because they didn't like it. So it was you like you like football, but you also like this. That's stupid. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess you like this, and that's stupid. So what does that mean?
I mean, look, it's easy to detect hypocrisy, I guess.
Course, yeah, even as a kid, I knew that. It was just funny. I was like, what?
If someone caught a picture of me at a convention or something wearing a Star Trek uniform, and then I go to a football game and someone's calling me a nerd, someone's calling me a nerd while they're painted all over their body.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's obsessed with something.
Exactly. It's just like, come on. You not recognize what you're doing right now? I mean,
I got to comment about something real fast. Okay, Chris, your lighting is driving me nuts just because it looks like you have like freaking like slicked back hair right now. Like you're freaking
Doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. That's the thing. It's not how his hair looks. It looks like you have like the Martin Greco from like Wall Street, whatever.
Oh yeah,
like,
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did run a brush through my hair before I jumped on camera.
Oh, you look very sexy. So
it was a little bit like more like that, you know. So being a dad is not conducive to have this grabs my hair all the time.
See, I'm stoked you have Doom Patrol in there. I do have the second volume of Spider-Girl on its way to me right now. Maybe for the comic binge, I'll have all the Spider people on here, like Kelly and Zach, and we'll all talk about Spider-Girl.
The thing is, Spider-Girl is like, it was something that I picked up when I was a child at the time when it was coming out, but I only got a few issues, so that's it.
Is this MC2 Spider-Girl?
Yes,
MC2, baby.
Honestly, I'll say it. The only Spider-Girl. Let's be real. Come on.
Wow, that is some shade.
I mean, Aranya is Aranya.
I agree. I don't know much about Aranya. This is where my Spider-Man.
I don't either, really, but she's like, that was
she's huge now.
Yeah.
Well, isn't she? The rumor is she's going to be in the Spider-Verse movie.
Well, it could be Mayday though. I don't know.
I hope it's Mayday. I think she deserves.
I'd rather be Mayday. I think we would all rather be Mayday because like.
Well, the problem is. Good. Sorry.
Well, the only problem is I think like Kelly, you know, our mutual friend, she has said things that are like, oh well, if it's not. The problem is like, you know, if the MC2 is such a rich universe, so it's like if it's just Spider-Girl, like that's good, but it's not everything, you know.
Yeah, but
I would be fine with just a Spider-Girl thing, but like the MC2 universe is very rich with like interesting characters, legacy characters like J2 and.
I'm so behind. I'm so behind.
Everything. I don't know. Like I don't know.
Entire run. I have the entire run of J2. I should just like binge it like live. I thought about doing that. Is that something that people would actually want to watch? If like a live reaction of reading a comic book, like how ridiculous would that be?
In real time,
not in real time.
Maybe just the first issue.
I'm
you
just
can't do the whole run.
Hold on a second. What the hell? The Thing?
What is that?
Masters?
Oh no. What you do is you film yourself reading it, and then in editing you pick out when you react to stuff, so that people don't have to just watch 15 minutes of.
I know.
But the thing is, like, everyone wants to watch like shows these days. You know, YouTube is basically TV to a lot of people. So
it is. It's
for
crazy.
Some people it is TV.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like this right now, like people will want to watch this when they have nothing else to do, I guess.
But also they have a TV service.
Well, do they? Yeah. Oh well, no. I mean, yeah. YouTube does have a TV service, which is actual TV, but whatever.
Right.
It's fine. It's honestly, it's on. I mean, I don't want to like, you know, pimp them out or whatever, but it's like that's probably the best like, you know, over the top cable service you get is YouTube TV.
100%. That's what I have, and I love it. So, you know, for the record, and just so people know who are watching, it's 7 people. Which again, I love you guys. 7 people, I love you. A lot. I have this idea, Adam, that Chris and I, we're gonna watch the Snyder Cut, like, and we're gonna record a reaction to the whole movie. Like, so I'm just gonna cut this, like how what Chris was saying. I'm gonna cut different parts out for the comic binge, our
Yeah.
reactions to different things.
Yeah, and you
So-
put them up on the channel.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it's
have
fun.
thing-
the beeps ready in the edit.
I've barely watched any of the new DC movies except for like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and I think that's it actually. So I have no interest in that. I guess I don't know, but
You know-
I know everyone hates it. Well, not everyone hates it, but like there are the diehards and there are people that just hate it, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I actually liked the Justice League. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Snyder cut. But that's it's whatever.
I just like how it's like, oh, okay, it got released, a few days ago. It's like, oh yeah, it's like kind of not a whole new movie, but it's like, oh, it's got like a cliffhanger ending and all this new stuff, and
it's like don't like don't tell me now. Like wait,
Right.
let me watch the
but it's
goddamn
like, but I like how everyone's well, and people are like, oh well, yeah, cool, you spent millions of dollars on this thing for these reshoots or whatever, and it's like, oh, it's not gonna get followed up on at all.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You never know.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, who knows? Who knows what Warner Brothers is trying to do
I have
next? But like, I mean, the new Suicide Squad. I might be interested in that. That kind of looks fun.
ridiculous. It looks like so much fun. Like it looks
Yeah.
great.
Ridiculousness is always good when it comes to comic book movies.
I'm gonna go through some books that I actually bought the last 2 weeks. I'm cheated. But I'll go through a lot of them that are fast. Okay. So okay, let's check this out. You all are gonna be very interested. The 7 people who are watching and anyone in the future. This is interesting. I've got some crazy things up in here. I have got Armor Wars 2. Now, okay, this is something that you have to understand is just a weird sequel. And it's written by John Byrne.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. John Byrne, the guy who drew, is an amazing artist in his own right.
Yeah.
Ooh, Adam, don't make me remove you right now, my friend.
I don't like his face shapes, I guess.
They all look similar. I can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
no, it's not really. It's just like it's not my preferred thing. But I mean, he's fine. Whatever. I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever. I still love it. But anyway, this is just an interesting book. It's not. I remember when I was a kid, I read a couple random issues in it, and it's not action packed like at all. But the art is really interesting. I forgot how like John Romita Jr. is. He's so underrated still, in my opinion.
See, I like him.
Let me show you something. So, actually, crap, I should have been more prepared. See, I should just bring up the comic, but I'll show you the pictures. This is Iron Man versus the Living Laser. And like, so this right here, you see this here? This is 2 pages, right? Okay. And this is just really cool colors. This is to me, the comic book medium, just it's full on just awesome here. Like, look at this. It's like lots of great captions and it's telling a great story. The next page is a double splash page. Look how beautiful this is. I just want to show this right now. Look at this. Trying to get all this straight. Here we go. Look at this.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Look, so the coloring, and this is awesome.
I like the empty white space. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. See, this is exactly this is the comic medium, man. Like, this is using the coloring and the space,
sure. Yep,
the story, and this is why I love the medium. So, though it's not like this, look how nutty this looks. This is like the Living Laser. This has no business to be in this interesting. This has no like if you told some like artists that didn't like comics very much, like mix up with the Living Laser, they'd be like, duh, okay, like whatever,
it's
right?
Like, look at those. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
top right and then bottom left. Those like those things. That's really cool.
And this right there, like, that looks awesome. I should be more prepared to have this on Marvel Unlimited. For more preparedness, I will have that next time. But for whatever reason,
cue it up and show it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Screen share.
Either way, this is why I love comics. So yeah, again, not action packed. I will show you one thing. I'm gonna try to find it in this book here. There's a part that I remember I always liked as a kid, the way he drew. And it's because I have the single issue. God damn, where is it? Hold on now. I'm gonna find it. It's in here somewhere. Maybe I won't find it. Where is it? Gosh darn it. I don't know where it is. Anyway, it's awesome. This is rad. Like this is the art alone. That splash page alone is worth buying this book, in my opinion. Like honestly, I was like, oh, that looks beautiful. Like this is gonna be a fun read. I know it's gonna be a little ridiculous, but whatever. So moving on. Next one, another Iron Man book.
Oh,
This is a forgotten gem, in my opinion. This is what I grew up reading for Iron Man and the Force Works. This is when the Force Works, who were the Avengers West Coast, they were replaced and then turned into the Force Works. Scarlet Witch is on it, by the way. And Iron Man. This is Iron Man versus War Machine. Hands of Mandarin. The Mandarin's involved. It's chaos. It's again, this is not groundbreaking stuff, but this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to reread this. This is me and my height of my kid comic bookness right there. Next up, and I got all these this week, by the way. This is all this week. Cap Bloodstone. Okay, do you guys know this book?
I've heard of it, but that's about it.
So if you like Captain America and you want to know more about Baron Zemo,
I've been also on my list is that James DeMatteis epic trade that just came out.
I'm gonna be picking that up at some point. Like that's
on my list because
I've read a good chunk of that. He's the one that introduced the new Baron Zemo.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's good. Like I've read that years ago on Marvel Unlimited, and I thought it was fantastic. It's definitely one I'm going to be picking up. This is by Mark Grunwald, and Grunwald is people just don't give him enough credit, man. That dude he's awesome.
Right. He had a huge run. Well, I think a couple of the I think he had a huge run on Captain America. Well, I think a couple of the Epic collections collect his run. Yeah. So
yeah, well, and I'm gonna tell you right now, people who are excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier like me,
right? That's the stuff you want to get.
Well, in my opinion, I've been pounding this table for years, man. The Captain by Mark Grunwald, which is basically the U.S. agent Captain America Steve Rogers, and the introduction of John Walker, who's going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier, and the whole idea of the government owning the rights, if you will, to Captain America. That is that story is essentially what they're going to be borrowing for Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. So, but yeah,
that'll be a video that you should do for the channel in the future. Soon.
Required MCU reading for Falcon Winter Soldier is coming. You better believe it. Baron Zemo. He is wonderbar. He says it right there. I love that. This is I got this for free on Thrift Books. If you buy enough through Thrift Books, they give you a free book at some point, under $6. Yeah, and it's a hardcover. Look for free. Yes.
Oh damn. Oh wow. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
That's what I said. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Hell yeah, dude. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. I also got these today. Now
today,
I spent a lot of money today. I was just telling Chris, I spent too much money, way too much money. And but my wife is very good to me. So I had to get this because I've been getting into Epic collections, and I'm not going crazy on Star Wars. Everything I'm getting Epic collections of because for the most part, because they're awesome and I love it. But Spider-Man, I'm kind of figuring out where I want to go with that. But I've been buying lots of stuff because I love the fact that they have so much extra material in them. It's basically a special edition DVD in a comic book.
Well, yeah, I said on Spidey Dude that the Kraven's Last Hunt Epic collection has because it has the original wedding trilogy thing. It's got the lead up to it's got the proposal, and then it's got the wedding annual, and then it's got the actual wedding strips from that Stan Lee wrote.
How rad is that? How rad is really that? Cool. And I love that. Chris, do you have any epics? I don't think you do. No.
No, I haven't really felt the need to dive too deeply into the catalog of trades. First of all, because as
Yeah,
Adam
man.
mentioned, the print runs are always difficult to manage, and I've usually just focused the bulk of my acquisition in comics on single issues. And if it's a story that I want to read just for understanding the history of the characters, then the digital services usually have me covered. And it's also
Sure.
just a space thing. I don't have a house.
No,
Yeah.
No,
Since
so
I get single issues, those take up enough space. As
That's the thing. Like, I need to get another bookshelf for some of the trades I've been buying lately.
yeah, I see in trades. It's weird because
But they look great, is the thing, and they're
I mean,
It's just
yeah, I
they're
love
so
it.
nice. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, in single issues, I think there's a place for them, and I keep going back to my favorite podcast I think I've ever done, which is our Three Jokers podcast, Chris. I think those 3 podcasts are some of my favorite, and I can't wait to post the back catalog of our stuff on YouTube because I think they're great episodes. I really do. And Adam, I'm just gonna tell you right now, you do me a favor, just for me, just listen to those episodes if you haven't read Three Jokers yet, because I think there are some of my favorite, like, best episodes I've ever done as far as like digging into stuff. Like, so anyone who hasn't listened to those episodes, like, and you even remotely like to hear me talk, like, I please listen to those episodes. I think those are some of my favorite ones I've ever done, because Chris and I just go deep on everything, the panel layouts, and just, again, it's all 9 panel grid basically.
Right.
But I think Jeff Johns really nailed it, and I keep going back to that series because the way it was printed, the way it was put out, it was a high-end product all the way through. The paper, the cardboard covering. I mean, it was premier everything. And it came out, if you were to put that out, let's say, and it was like thicker, like what, like over 30 pages of a book, maybe around that. Like it was over a regular book. I know that.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, what was the cover price?
It was like
$5.99?
maybe
$7. Yeah, it's probably like 40 pages, maybe.
It might have been under, but let's be real here. I'll be honest. I think that if you were to give me that product every 2-3 months and then be one issue,
sure,
I'd be good. I'd be good with that. And because you want quality, and I keep forgetting that comics like Daredevil, they came out bi-monthly at one point because they were underselling.
Yeah.
And eventually it built up back to a monthly schedule
because it got so popular that it's like, exactly. Oh, we want this every month.
Exactly. So I kind of feel like maybe what the big two need to do is look at, like, don't put out things as much right now, tail it back a little bit, and then say, okay, let's put out a high quality product, still pump out those trades because we all love the trades. And then that way we're still honoring the single issue people like Chris. And even I still like buy single issues. Like Spider-Man is the only one I'm going to buy of. And then it's some Star Wars stuff here or there, like the High Republic I'm picking up right now, but that's it. And I'm picking up trades, everything else, or I'm reading it digitally. So you can still have the digital product still have the floppy, support the local comic book stores, have those out there, but yet you're not just pumping out the same thing over and over again, but give us a quality product. Because I think I'd probably buy more floppies if they were a higher quality product, to be quite honest. But if I'm paying $5-6 a book, I want it to be this. If the story is not like, is this average? Then it's like, I just wait for unlimited at this point. This is where once the big two figure out what they're going to do with monthly floppies and their subscription services, and they kind of figure out like what the balance is, like, I think comics will blow up. Like, we're going to explode, in my opinion. But
what I want to say about that is, like, I kind of do want Spider-Man to be just once a month again. And not like, and people will probably be like, oh, but it's so decompressed. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think that, like, maybe if it's once a month, it won't be as decompressed.
Yeah. I just don't know if the likelihood is there for Spider-Man. I mean, what was it? After One More Day.
Yeah, they're doing it three a month. Yeah.
They had 3 monthlies, and Amazing was once a month, and then when they got rid of the other 2 titles, they just made Amazing.
Well, no, it was all Amazing. When One More Day, it was all Amazing. They got rid of all the satellite titles, and they had Amazing Spider-Man 3 times a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
different creative team.
Prior to One More Day, there was Amazing, there was Sensational, and there was
but the thing was
that turned into But
Yeah.
and then they out of necessity, their business necessity to have the Spider-Man content there, they thought that they needed that book to come out as
But I think what Adam,
often as it did.
go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that, like, I think that right now, what I'm seeing with Spider-Man is a lot of people do not like how decompressed it is, which I think it's okay. Like, I'm not, gonna rag on it too much, but like, my personal thing is I think the title needs to go back to once a month, because I know I think it was Rebirth, like Superman and Batman were twice a month, and they eventually went back to once a month for that, I think. So I don't know. I think it might be time for Spider-Man to do that, even though it's been, a decade essentially of that. I think, like, if they just tighten it up a little bit, this isn't I'm not trying to, like, say anything negative about Spencer, but like,
Yeah, we love Spencer.
I mean, Spencer's good. I mean, it's like a 9 out of 10 run for me.
Yeah. Me and you are on this.
Like,
we're always praising him,
Yeah.
I'm about 45 issues behind, so I'll get there.
You gotta catch up, man.
Dude, this guy's like, his favorite character is Superman. He's like, hasn't even read like the anything of Bendis besides.
But to be fair, I was.
Well, I've heard mixed things about Bendis Superman, and I'm not.
Listen,
I have too, but I'm generally open to what he.
Oh, you're an
thinks
open
he
person.
should do.
You must not be a comic book fan.
No, but I mean, Ivan Reis is primary artist on the main title, and Ivan Reis is one of my favorite comic book artists, and Doug Mahnke was with him on Action. I was just waiting for that entire run to finish before I started, and now I can. But also too, Philip Kennedy Johnson, who started with Superman on Future State Worlds of War, is taking over the monthlies, both Action and Superman. And we're going to talk about it on our Future State show when we record it. This was one hell of a story. So I was shocked at how good this was.
So for people that don't know, that in our next episode we're going to record it. I'm not sure if we're going to go live or not. We may or may not go live, but either way, it's going to be like this basically. Me and Chris are just going to talk. We're going to put up some pictures, some pretty pictures, and we're going to go over Future State, Dark Detective, Batman, and that Superman stuff that he's forcing me to read. And
forcing you.
Do you like Superman or no?
No, I like Superman. He's one of those characters that I grew up, always knowing and always liking. I never disliked him, but I never been like a lover of the character. But I like the character.
Nobody's perfect.
I like I'm kind of looking forward to the 78 series.
I am too.
Yeah,
the 89 and 70. Listen,
not. Well, 89. I don't know, because I haven't seen those. I haven't seen those movies in a while.
Well, so with Batman 89, they have Sam Hamm writing it, and he was
that is cool.
Writer, which is pretty awesome.
So I gotta find something.
I mean, 89's cool. Like the thing was, I just remember I watched Batman Forever, but it was like
it's a gem. Don't talk crap about Forever.
No, I'm not gonna talk trash about it. Like I remember watching it. This was probably like a decade ago now, or like 5 years ago. I don't know, but I remember watching Batman Forever after Forever, and I thought it was really good, actually. And I know that there's a YouTuber I follow he did like a really deep dive on the movie.
Who?
A YouTuber named High Top Films. He does he does a lot of like comic book movie and TV show things, and he does a video praising the movie. Essentially, I haven't watched it yet, but I heard he says it's his best video yet, and I would believe it, because he's very passionate about stuff.
He did a really good one called Batman Does Not Kill.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, that's a good video.
Here we go.
Well, no, I know.
We're talking about the YouTuber. He made that video. It's worth watching.
Yeah,
I know.
It's a good video.
Listen, I'm just riling you guys up. That's what I do.
Yeah. Come on, that because Batman 89 kills a bunch of dudes left and right. He's just like blowing them down.
See, Adam.
Well, honestly, though, with
the
89 series,
the thing is, I remember I do remember liking. I grew up on the 89 movies, but I just haven't seen them in a long time.
I like Batman Forever better than Batman Returns, like by kind of a lot. for what it's worth.
You guys, everyone, all these Batman fans hate Batman Returns. It's not that
That's
bad.
not true. Look,
I gotta watch it again. I've heard it's good. Like it's very, people are like, oh, it's very Tim Burton, and
It
the
is very
Catwoman
Tim Burton.
thing is like,
That's unmistakable. You can't say it's not.
the thing is like, as these directors. I mean, I kind of do. I mean, I'm one of these guys now. I'm turning into one of these guys. It's like, oh, like, let the directors do what they want, I guess.
I do.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
It is.
Well, because it's like, well, do you want the character? Like, because it could be you could sacrifice the character, I guess, to what the director wants the character to be,
which is what Batman Returns did.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I like the Raimi movies for Spider-Man.
Sure.
Those are like my.
We got comments. I totally forgot about the comments. I'm just gonna.
Thank you, Rachel. Batman Forever is a great movie.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Batman Forever is a really solid movie. The thing with the
release
series that's coming. Oh, well,
release the Schumacher cut.
Yeah, they do need to release the Schumacher cut.
If there's anything left of that, like there's all those deleted scenes apparently, and like
they were part of the original special edition DVD release in 2005, and those were pretty solid. But
just release that, please. We don't need the Snyder cut. We need the Schumacher cut.
I agree.
Right?
Really quick, I gotta say right now, Val Kilmer is a vastly underrated Batman. He was criminally underrated in my opinion.
The problem was apparently Schumacher didn't like, well, because apparently he was a troublemaker. He was like being a little.
They didn't get along.
Yeah, he was problematic on set.
Apparently, he was going to come back, but they were getting ready to shoot the Saint when they were getting ready.
Let me just go through these comments. I want to say thank you to these people. Jacob Miller, I'm with you. Also, the fact that they're also way too expensive for me to want to buy. Like the stories that I will spoil this on the podcast right now. If the stories weren't like $10 a piece and had like 5 backup stories that I did not give 5 craps about, I would probably buy more. But the fact that that is the case now, that I was like, I'll just read Chris's copies. Thank you. All right.
I guess we bought a crap load of Future State books.
You did. But it's not, but to be honest, I would go if you're a big Batman fan, I think the main Batman title wasn't terrible. And Dark Detective, I haven't read the last issue. I will. I had liked Dark Detective. It's a little heavy on the
next Batman. I mean, we'll talk about it, obviously.
Yeah,
but while you're reading it, you were pretty into it.
Yeah. Frank, I'm so okay. Mainly trying to find.
Spencer Run, Spider-Man.
You know what? Like I'm not trying to pimp my own video here, but I'm just telling you, I think when you read these big events, you get a good idea, like Avengers Disassembled or Civil War. It does get. It brings you into like the deeper continuity sometimes, and you kind of get to know, like you get to understand what characters are a little bit. You can kind of go, I like that character a little bit, or whatever. You kind of latch on to different things. Would you agree with that?
Yes, in a certain sense, it depends on the event, because if the event itself is really steeped in in-depth continuity, that might be one to avoid. In an event that's not steeped in deep continuity, like Civil War, I think Civil War is kind of a prototypical example. You really get a sense of even though it changes things a bit and it has a direct conflict between a bunch of characters who are normally supposed to be allies. The nice thing about an event like Civil War is that you don't really need to know a lot about what happened before. The inciting incident happens in the first issue, and the conflict plays out over the course of the next 6. So Civil War, if you're looking to get into the Marvel Universe, is probably a really solid event to jump into, because the dynamics are pretty well preserved within the core miniseries. But if there are characters that you want to check in on, there were a ton of satellite series and the individual stories that dealt with those characters. Spider-Man's arc is one of the best that came out of Civil War, and that kind of dovetailed between New Avengers. And then as a primary Captain America fan in the Marvel Universe, I loved all of the Civil War adjacent stuff with Captain America. So an event like Civil War is probably a really good place to.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly think like Avengers Disassembled. I think the new Avengers by Bendis is a great entry point to kind of get to know some Marvel characters, some of the major Marvel characters. And you can quickly find out if like which ones you're not into and which ones you're into, in my opinion. So
I mean, Paul, we were talking recently, and of course you highlighted Disassembled on your most recent video, but Breakout as a story for New Avengers.
Breakout is so good, I think.
New Avengers Volume 1, that's also something where the inciting incident happens, and chances are you've heard at least of Spider-Man and of Wolverine and Iron Man, and all those guys are in that story. Give it a shot.
As you guys can see, we get derailed. I'm worse. Me and Zach, if you got me and Zach on a podcast together, you sat down. I told Zach too, we should do like a marathon podcast for like charity. We would literally never stop talking. We would just be going in circles forever about like, or just tangents every 5 seconds and never go back.
Yeah, that was like earlier this week.
I want to take this question from Brian first. So you say, speaking of Spider-Man,
I'm the host, Chris. I'll take it first. Thank you. I'm just kidding. I'm just
no, but I think I come to this in a different place than you guys do, just because I came into Spider-Man from Straczynski. Like he was really into Spider-Man.
Tell me what you think about JMS. Oh, okay. Anyway, JMS.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
If you want to, I'm sorry, man.
I had to. I'm off. Chris, it's me. I can't not.
Right.
No. All right, JMS, go. The hands are up.
I think that those sets of stories are generally really solid, but he did go into some weird territory. So
sure.
He ties in these kinds of mystic components of destiny to Peter's story, which kind of felt out of place in the moment.
Half and half.
Right, yeah. I would probably say that too. I mean, the stuff with Ezekiel I thought was interesting, but it's not what really grabbed me. And then there's the stuff with Norman and Gwen that just was in a totally different direction. But by and large, he was really good, though, in a few specific places, in a couple of his issues with John Romita Jr., and with Mike Deodato, of doing like these really personal stories for Peter.
Sure.
And he was also really good at nailing the humor too. So he's a guy who understands that Peter puts on this air about himself that is whimsical to the outside world. But when he's forced to deal with the consequences of his own choices, he has some really serious issues that he has to try and deal with. But he's also a guy who understands that, and I think the part around Civil War really exemplified. Peter Parker, even though he's like a third or fourth tier guy within the Marvel universe, we all know him as the mascot of Marvel. He's
he
Marvel
definitely
character.
is. Yep.
But within the universe, even if he sees himself as like less than, a lot of the major characters in the universe that surrounds him look to Peter as a moral signpost. It's almost like, well, if Peter chooses to do this, then I know it's the right decision. Right. And he doesn't know that about himself. And I think that JMS does a really good job of emphasizing that, particularly in his interactions with like Captain America and with Iron Man later on.
So, Brian, thank you for saying the binge is back. We are back. It's going to be a lot different, but I think it's going to be better. And I'm really excited about the future because there's shows and there's other stuff coming, people. I'm being serious. There's other stuff coming that I can't announce yet because it's not ready yet. But when it does, it's going to change. It's going to change some things in a good way, good changes, and going to keep things on the trajectory of what we're doing now. So just know this is just wave one. I've got a lot of ideas, ambitious ideas that I'm trying to do, which is really hard. But Brian, thank you for being and supporting the show and everyone who's been on here. We had up to 8 people. Again, that's 8 people that I'm astounded that have come on the show and are watching. The 5 people now. Love you guys. Seriously, thank you. About JMS, I think he did a lot of great things. I actually love Ezekiel. I love the spider totem. Like, I straight up love it. So just want to say that for the record. I love the more mystical stuff that JMS, I would say Bill Mantlo and JMS were the ones that probably brought in more of the mystical side of Spider-Man than anyone before. And Bill Mantlo was so zany that like people just kind of took it as like its own little, not like its own thing, but that's just Bill Mantlo. He's just doing his thing. And then I think when JMS came in as a big time writer, and started doing all these different things, people were like, what is this? A spider totem? And I'll be honest, I love the direction that they've taken the character with the whole mystical area. Because look what we've got now. We've got Spider-Verse, and Spider-Verse turned into the Spider-Verse, which is, I was watching it today. It's phenomenal. it's I mean, it's great. So I love JMS. He's definitely missed a couple things for me, but I like it. So Brian, do you want anything about JMS? Anything, Brian? I mean, Brian. Sorry, Adam.
Sorry to me.
Yeah, Adam. Anything add about JMS before I change it to the next thing?
I haven't totally read his run, but from what I understand about it, I think it's honestly a good run to go to after the Ditko run, because there's a lot of, well, especially with like 500.
Yeah.
There's that thing. I don't know. I think there's this thing where it's hard to explain. Like, JMS brings his own voice to the character.
He definitely,
so
yes.
It's different. From what I've read, it's different than everything that came before.
Yeah,
but I think it's a good kind of sequel to the early first decade or so.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
I think the mystical thing. I think it was a good thing to like just take Spider-Man again out of his element and to kind of like question like what happened, what is my origin exactly. And then if you read through Book of Ezekiel, it leaves it open-ended, and I think that's kind of that's the way it should be,
and again, I think Ezekiel is a character I want to have come back. I've been waiting for a writer to bring him back for a long time. And I know that they've almost gone that direction multiple times with obviously the Grim Hunt, Spider-Verse, and then with Silk. I mean,
that's right. Yeah, with Silk. Because so, I mean, he put her in the bunker basically.
Which again, I liked. I love that stuff. I love it when it's all connected. I know some people hate when everything's connected. I'm the opposite. I love when everything is connected, and it makes it more fun for me. Okay, a couple things before we'll wrap up here in like about 15, 20 minutes, because I still want to bring up some books here. Okay, so first of all, we're talking about Sam Hamm, right? Who wrote Batman 89?
Yeah.
This is it. This is a comic he wrote back in the day. So this is Detective Comics. I forgot what detective numbers these were. Maybe
probably 600. 600.
Hold on. Well, actually, I'll just look. What a concept.
I know he wrote 600.
This came out in 92. Yeah, you're right. Well done, my friend. 598 to 600. So I'm very interested to see, because dude, this smells good, by the way. This smells like old comics. Like it's it's so good. It smells so good. I want this perfume. Is there a way to get this perfume? I want old comic perfume. If you could put that in a bottle, I'd buy it today. And you think I'm joking? I'm not. I'm being serious. Like if I could like spray my room to smell like a comic book, like old comic books, give it to me. So
the old location of the shop I worked at,
well, dude, I was there. Yeah, I was there. I smelled it. It was great. I love that smell. But this, before I revisit before I read those comic books, I'm gonna read this because I'm learning the camera, people. I'm learning.
I mean,
be nice.
It's right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and because Sam Hamm obviously can write a script. I'm curious if he can write comic books, because the two are not the same.
Right.
So
I think I've heard that's okay. They reprinted that as Blind Justice in Dark Knight Detective Volume 3, which is now out of print. That's the thing. Like, it came out last year and it went out of print immediately.
Wow. Refrain. Yeah.
That is we're getting sounds like the theme of the night. Out of print. So
Paul knows how much limited print runs bug me, because I wouldn't shut up about the new X-Men omnibus.
Oh God. For years, Adam, like knowing Chris, he'd be like, "Oh man, the book I've been always trying to get." Like I'd hear it like every 6 months, or more than that. It'd be like, or less than that. It'd be like every 3 or 4 months. You know what I really want to get? That Grant Morrison omnibus of new X-Men. I'm like, dude, why? And he's like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's like, oh, dude, like 5 years, or no, not even 5, 10 years later, he's like, oh, they're finally reprinting it. I'm like, oh, good. Shut up about it now.
Yeah, but then you actually read the first story in the
I
damn
did.
thing,
I did
and
like
you
it.
know
I
that
did like it.
it's-
I did like
Yeah.
it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Some people.
We're gonna be
I
doing
listen-
more of that. We're gonna be doing more of that.
We'll eventually get there. We'll eventually, and we'll get, Adam. We're gonna get you on soon again, man. We're gonna
Okay.
get this. We're gonna get you on. We're gonna.
Well, can I just humble brag a little bit?
Of course, please, please.
When was this? This was like a month ago to the day or whatever. I was at a comic shop here downtown, and they had the Strange Apparitions trade for cover price, so I bought it. The Batman one, you know,
Oh, really?
the Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers stuff.
Yeah, Steve Englehart.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this."
Dude, Steve is another underrated writer. I know, like people, he's well known, but I mean, I still don't think he gets enough credit. He's a great writer. He
Gets a
great
pretty
stuff.
decent amount of credit.
I think he wrote.
Does he?
Wrote the second Vision Scarlet Witch.
You're right, he
miniseries,
did.
right? Well, maxi 12 issues, whatever.
Right,
it was.
but didn't Bill Mantlo write the first one though? He wrote.
I don't
the
know
first,
actually.
Yeah,
I just know I think he wrote the second one.
the
thing.
Good.
I'm just saying that like it's a tie into current events.
Yeah.
People should read that because there are trades of that out now and everything.
Yeah. I've read a couple of that. It's decent. It's decent. Like Agatha's in it, I think. Isn't that the one where Pietro? They have like the Thanksgiving dinner with Magneto and everybody.
Oh, I don't know actually. I just know that's when the twins come into play.
Yeah. Okay. That's the one I think. That's what I'm thinking of. I love Englehart a lot. He's great. But yeah, about Bill Mantlo. When I eventually get better at editing videos and I get a little bit tighter on things, and I get better on video in general, because I'll be honest, I suck at being on video. I don't like it. It's not natural for me, and it's a hell of a lot to edit.
Drinking helps.
Yeah. I don't drink that very much, so there you go.
Okay, well.
But
I guess. But
when I eventually do get better, and I'll do my research with this guy, with Chris, because I'm gonna need help. I'm not very good at research. We're gonna do a big retrospective on Bill Mantlo at one point, because that guy is not credited enough that he needs to. His Hulk run, it's literally what Peter David and Al Ewing are like. They base their whole runs off of is Bill Mantlo. Like,
there you go.
But
didn't Bill Mantlo plagiarize a story? I heard.
You know what? He may have. I don't know. But dude, the guy was prolific. The dude wrote like everything.
Yeah. I mean, I have massive props for him, but I think like it was in his. I think it was in his Hulk run specifically. That was when like Shooter found out that he like plagiarized something, and it was like, oh,
that. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting. What I mean, when it surprised me,
but whatever, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but his story is tragic, and you know,
he needs like Hero Initiative. Go to that.
Yeah,
and,
go. Yeah, you want to fund? Yeah,
I think he's got a thing through that. I don't know.
Yeah, go support Bill Mantlo. He's not working. He's disabled, and the dude needs help. And he created Rocket Raccoon. I mean, like the dude
who originally spoke like a British person. I saw today.
Well, yeah, it's
because people Old Bean.
Because he's based off the Beatles song. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because he said he's like, call me Rocky, and it's like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, wrapping up a couple of things. I'll let you guys kind of have the last word. So I went to the comic store. I still have a few more back issues of my Spider-Man run that I need to complete for the slot run. I only have like, I think 6 or 7 left. So I picked up a couple of those, some Star Wars New Republic stuff, and I got some hard to find epics today. I got this beauty. This apparently is hard to find.
That's at my shop, but I don't know if I want to buy it.
It's, you know, I reckon even as a kid in middle school, who I loved Spider-Man and obviously and a lot. I had a whole run, but not anymore. I ended up selling the issues when I was, in high school because I needed money to buy records. But Yeah. Which by the way was like a bunch of like key issue stuff. Like I should have kept on to it, but anyway,
Yeah, they'd be worth more now.
yeah, whatever. But anyway, this is I loved this. It was bad. I recognize it wasn't like groundbreaking when I was a kid, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
There's a good Peter and Mary Jane moment in there.
Yeah, like it's just, and you know what? Even if you like it or not, it's a big part of Spider-Man's history. Like,
sure. Yeah.
Me and Chris are gonna play the game live on this channel at one point. Like, it's gonna be, we're gonna deep dive. In fact, this will be the first one we do, Chris. We're gonna do a live like review of Maximum Carnage while we play the game.
All right.
Like we're just gonna do it.
Like, yeah, you know, the line art was really good. And
yeah, that's how it's gonna be. If 3 people only like it, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever. But this is apparently hard to find. Like I see this online.
They're all getting hard to find.
I know. That's why I'm starting to snatch them up now. So
well, yeah, me too. Like I'm just like, if I see something, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Well, the stimulus check helps. I'll say.
Yeah, dude. I'm just getting stoked on that. So this will be the last thing. I'll share these 2 things here. They're similar. I got these 2 epics, one last week and one this week, and they were both hard to find. This one is the really hard to find one.
Yeah, the Ghost of the Past. Yeah.
This one is like the one that everyone wants to. This one goes for like $100-something right now, and I'm like, I'm picking this up ASAP. So
I got it for half price at a convention a couple years ago.
Well, a couple years ago, it's still in print and everything. But yeah, I think
it was getting almost out of print.
Even then, okay.
Almost.
Yeah. So this one is like, I mean, DeFalco and friends. I love those guys. So I got whatever. I'm just picking up all the Spider-Man epics that, like, you know,
yep.
It feels like I'm headed that way, that I don't have an omnibus of. And I even though I have Kraven's Last Son already, I had to get this. And I think you kind of convinced me, Adam, honestly, because I think you were talking all the extra stuff. Yeah.
A few days ago.
Well, no, because you were talking. We're talking about this a couple of weeks ago. I thought we were talking
about. It was just a few days ago. I think I said that it had all the other stuff, and I just said it tonight too.
Well, I'm wondering if it was maybe Zach then, because someone was telling me about.
I don't think Zach knew. I don't know because I not knew. Well, because I don't know. I don't know because it was I feel like maybe I'm thinking about last night another conversation, but I don't know.
Well, either way,
there's a lot of extra stuff in there that makes it a good thing. Anyway.
But yeah, so this is like you said, this is a perfect example of why you want to buy trades. All the extra stuff in here, like, because it also has like the well, dude, look at this. See, this is stuff as a comic book lover. Like, look at this. This is like Mike Zeck.
Yep.
Come on, man. You can't beat that crap, man. This is gorgeous.
I'm thinking about getting it because it is out of print and my shop has 2 copies and I'm like, I think I gotta get it, even though I have the trade.
So at one point we will do a deep dive on Kraven's Last Hunt because it's probably one of my favorite comic book stories ever. And it's definitely maybe my favorite Spider-Man story ever. Maybe. I remember when we did a Patreon for the Marvel Studios News or MCU fan show, whatever Sean has it as now. We did years ago a retrospective on Kraven's Last Hunt, and I remember telling him then, like, yeah, this is I hold this up in like to watch almost borderline Watchmen level, like Dark Knight Returns. I think Kraven's Last Hunt's that good. And he was like, "Oh no," he's like, "It's good. It's not that good." I'm like, "It is, dude. It's really good. It's amazing." So, yeah, if you haven't read Kraven's Last Hunt, get on that because it's good. It's good. So, Zach, Adam, why don't you take us out and we'll head out of here?
Zach, you mean Chris?
Oh God, Chris.
You're messing up all the names.
Who's on?
Who are you? Who am I?
Who's on this show? I don't know who's on this show anymore. Who are you?
All right. Well, one of the things I picked up too was the Infinite Frontier Zero issue, and I did read this and was pretty happy with it. It should lead to a pretty interesting event this summer. It really serves to reset the DC universe again. But for those of us who have been kind of hoping for a wider universal reset and bringing in some of the characters that we've missed for a long time, it's a welcome occurrence. So hopefully they can keep the momentum going. And I just wanted to say too, and I was looking in my back issue boxes, and I was really surprised to see that this has shot up so much over the last week or so, ever since
because of
Ta-Nehisi Coates was announced
Yep.
as the next screenwriter for Superman. The rumor is that the next Superman is going to be a man of color. And so naturally, a previous issue that featured a Superman who Grant Morrison created, who's a president on his alternate world, just shot up in value. But don't let the hype bring you into it. Read those stories because they're awesome. He showed up first in Final Crisis, and then Grant Morrison's Action Comics run, which I think is very underrated, especially because of its association with the New 52. It's a really solid series of Superman stories. And if you're looking for a solid series of Superman stories from a writer who knows the guy pretty well, it's hard to go wrong with that. And Calvin Ellis, who is that character, is a pretty cool addition to the roster of Supermen. And he's used in Multiversity and kind of becomes a defender of the multiverse at large with Justice Incarnate. And it's just a whole set of cosmic craziness that I can't recommend enough of. So this was kind of an interesting experiment, Paul, with this stream. But I've had a good time. So
yeah,
thanks
this
for
has been great.
texting me and saying jump on the computer.
Well, I want to say thank you to people and everything.
Course,
but and also a kind of a dry run for us when we eventually, if we're gonna do live or not, I don't know. I kind of like this live stuff. This is kind of fun. Like, so I'm kind of into it.
I might have to practice at Maximum Carnage a little bit before.
Oh, it's gonna be well down the road when we do that, but we'll get better.
Game,
Adam,
hard.
This dude, we're gonna get you on, man. We have a good dynamic, the three of us. This is good. I like this.
Cool.
So, I like you.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife today. She was like, we were talking. When we were messaging back and forth because you're the one who told me. Adam was the one that told me that I breached 100 subscribers, and I was like, wow. And she's like, what? I'm like, well, my buddy Adam just told me we reached 100. She's like, oh, that's crazy. Who's Adam? And I was like, oh, he's on my Spidey Dude podcast. He's a great guy. I love this dude. And she's like, oh, yeah. And so I was like, I need to do my live stream later. I'm going to invite Adam. Adam's awesome. So yeah. And this has been great. Like Adam, this has been great. So yeah. What, anything you want to add? Like you've been reading anything?
Man, I'm so boring, and I'll admit that.
You're not boring. Stop it.
I know. The thing is like, there's self-deprecation is in, but I'm also kind of tired of it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm the worst or whatever. It's like, no, you're not. Like, stop that. It's like, but it's also, it is kind of fun to just be like, I'm
terrible.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to
Right.
kind of, get out of that mindset, I guess. But I mean,
Whatever,
well,
especially
especially if you don't really mean it, it's just kind of like funny for people. And anyway, whatever. I'm all over the place.
You're good. We love you. We love you. What you reading? What
am I reading? I'm just reading Spider-Man. I want to read, but there's stuff I'm looking into. Like I still haven't read Radiant Black. I want to check that out. I want to read the new Tom Taylor Nightwing. I'm thinking about reading the Beta Ray Bill thing coming out. I think that's next week. I don't know. There's comics are for everyone, as someone said. I think there's a thing out there somewhere. Someone like didn't trademark it, but just like said it.
Yeah, no.
Recently, I feel like there was a thing, like someone made that a thing. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Just
great stuff, man.
Look for what you like.
Yeah.
There's something out there for everyone. You'll find something. And
yeah. And Adam, honestly, that's the purpose of this whole, like my whole purpose of this channel is to promote the medium of comic books and not just superhero comics.
Yeah, and I believe in that a lot. That's why I was glad. Well, I was not glad. I was like honored. You're like, oh, come on. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. Like, we're going to, like, seriously, like, I have this. This is Alan Moore and Alan Davis, like, sci-fi stuff. Like, I want to read this. And I also have Alex Toth, like.
Oh, the master.
Yeah. Like, right. Like, this is all like a bunch of random stuff. And I also have this, which I want to read. been dying to read this. This looks. I've been hearing great things about this, so I need to check this
yeah.
out. So, like, and it's gonna go.
Miyazaki, yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. Like, I want to promote comic books. Like, my wife has
Sure.
loads and loads, and Chris can attest that he's been in my house thousands of times. My wife has tons of RT comic books everywhere that I've never read and never cared to read because that's not my bag. But you know what? Like, because this channel, I want to promote the medium, not just superhero books. I connect to superhero books the most.
Sure.
That's what I grew up reading. So I'm naturally connected to it. But the purpose of this channel is to promote not just comic book, the main two, but not just not Image, not just Dynamite, the independent stuff. Like, we're going to promote as much as we can when we have the opportunities to. So just know, people, that even though it's heavy superhero stuff, there's more coming that's not superhero stuff. So just be patient. If you're
apparently IDW doesn't count as independent to Paul.
We'll get into that later. It's not. Dynamite's not independent. Image isn't independent.
Based in San Diego.
Nice. So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just wanted to tell people that like,
no, it's fine.
The channel is going to be more than just superhero stuff. It's going to be heavy superhero stuff because let's be real. Comic books are
superhero. Well, comic books nowadays are kind of superhero.
They've always been superhero. Yeah. It's always been dominated by superheroes.
Well, I mean, there was like crime stuff and horror stuff, and then.
But for the most part, superheroes have always been the ones supporting the whole industry.
Well, yeah,
I mean, in not all the time, but I would say like 85% of the time.
Well, yeah. Ever since Superman, sure, yeah.
But that's true. But the comic books, Superman was essentially one of the first comic books ever made. So I mean, like, as far as like a book completed with comics, So
right.
So anyway, but besides, so you're just kind of eventually venture on some of that new stuff you said, like Tom Taylor,
some of that new stuff, and I have a boatload of trades to read, and I will read them at some point.
We'll read them so we can talk about them.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me which ones you read, and maybe I'll throw you on here. But hey, let's go on there and talk about it, like live streaming, like this. We'll BS for a while. I'll grab this guy. I'm like, Chris, come on, let's read this. Oh, really? Well, I don't care. Come on. So, but yeah, this has been great. Like, seriously, everyone. Again, if you watch this when you're live, not live, it doesn't matter. You're watching it at all, half of it, 10 minutes, and you dislike the video, that's fine too. Thank you for just taking the time to like look at me for 5 minutes. I don't care. I really appreciate it. Like, everyone, the comic binge, the goal is to grow the medium of comic books, the people that grow the love of comic books, and to be welcoming of people who love comic books and have a fun place to talk about any kind of comic book. And so that's my goal. And I want to support the independent stuff. So you have independent books, send them my way. If you know people who have independent books that want to promote their stuff, send it my way. Like, I will do my best to do whatever I can to promote and help out the industry, because comic books are just a masterful medium that is still not getting the credit it's deserved. I mean, it's basically spearheaded the biggest. It's based off the biggest stuff in the world right now with the MCU. The MCU would be nothing without comic books. Yep. And yet Disney and Marvel don't promote the industry. They don't promote anything. It's just, I don't get it. I mean, I get it because it doesn't make dollars and cents, but but whatever.
It's gonna be it'll be interesting to see how that plays. I don't know. Like, that's a conversation.
As you can imagine, retailers have a lot to say about it.
I agree. But here's the thing. Regardless of what those people do or whatever, I'm going to do my part because I love comic books. I'm going to do my best to promote the medium and get people to love comic books, because it's this industry, or excuse me, the medium, not the industry, because the industry is kind of messed up. Let's be real. That's a whole other podcast or whatever you want to call it. But the medium, people, is amazing. And if you're not reading it, if you're kind of like this, I don't know what to do, like, just, it's worth it. Let me know what you want, what you're looking for. I'll help you. Yeah. Everyone will help you here. Go out there and ask.
I mean, I'll help. Yeah, I'll help you. Sure.
Of course you will. Adam, you're a sweetheart, Adam. I know you'd help people out. You would too. I mean, come on. So anyway,
even if I don't read it, I can probably point people
exactly. We all
yeah,
could.
in the direction that they want to go in. So
Exactly.
We know people who have probably read that thing that you're thinking.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
right
So
now.
I know like a little, I know about it like, tangentially or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you might
Right.
like this.
right. So anyway, read more comics, as Chris
Yes.
has definitely dubbed, and I've stolen from him, and he's
Put the hashtag up.
Oh,
Paul.
I need. How do I do that? Oh, hold on. I know how to do it. Let me just hold on real quick. Someone talk for a second. I'll do it.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
You guys suck at
everybody?
this. I gotta turn it in. You guys suck at this.
It's like, hey Chris, how's it going? Nice
Oh,
to
there
meet
you
you.
go.
Oh my God, you guys.
Nice to meet you too. No, but I mean, kind of jumping off of what Paul said.
There it is. Perfect.
The idea of behind the comic binge when we started the show was to try and replicate the experience of going into a shop and talking with people who hopefully you trust their perspectives and their opinions on stories if they align. But even in times when you don't, you can at least have some good conversations about it. And I think that over the last year, that kind of connection and that ability to dialogue about something that's mutually shared has just become more important.
Yeah,
because
totally.
of a necessity that exists in society right now to be distant, physically distant from people. Yeah. So if we can do a little bit of a part in filling that gap for people who maybe aren't able to spend as much time in the comic shop as they used to, or maybe you've even transitioned entirely to digital books and you don't have that kind of connection with people that you
live in a weird area that you don't have those people around.
Or that whatever it is that has either not allowed you to make that connection or has deprived you of that kind of weekly communal experience of going in and talking about the books. We'll do what we can to try and have active dialogues with people who want to check out the show and to talk about this medium that we all love a lot. And that's really the heart and soul of it.
Yeah. And like I said, if I'm not in this to make a career, like that's not my bag. Like I'm in it because I love it. And that's the thing. I want people to know that starting a YouTube channel, it's daunting, but I love talking about comic books. I love reading comic books and analyzing them from a creative standpoint. So that's what I'm in it for. And if I did this and I did it for like 6 years and I got like 10 people into comic books, like heavy into comic books, and they love it, and it made them like they just love comic books like me, then I would say it's worth it. Like literally, that's all what it's about. It's not about making money. It's not about it's about making like people realize what tapping into why you love something and them recognizing that and then loving it as much as you.
And we've all got day jobs,
Yeah, whatever. I'm cool with it. I don't care. That's the thing. I love comic books. I'm not in it to be cool. I'm in it because I love the medium. So if you don't believe it, then that's fine. But that's the truth. So, but again, if I did this and I got 5-10 people in the comic books, then it's well worth it. Done. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. Obviously you guys are awesome, and you guys will all be on like soon. So whatever, I'll see you guys soon. But you guys stick around. But as you and Chris. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, read more comic books.
Bye-bye.
RMC.